Good evening, students. Good evening, Karan, Arohi, Sohani, Ashi, Rashi, Shashwat, Shivangi. So, some good questions today we will be doing related to thermodynamics, and be active on the chat window to answer the questions. Okay, this will help you to retain whatever you are learning. And once we have done it, I'll enable two assignments of thermodynamics. Those uh, have to be submitted by tomorrow evening. I think one tomorrow evening and the other one day after tomorrow, probably. So the first question is, which of the following are state functions? Although I know that we have not done heat capacity. Okay. So whatever you know, that should be the answer. Exclude heat capacity because that is not in your syllabus. Yes, correct. Ashita, Shashwat. Yes. These are state function. Mehak, the question is are state function, not are the state. Yes, correct. So we know that delta H is a state function, but apart from that, specific heat capacity is also a state function, which obviously is out of syllabus. So that's why we have not covered it. But having said that, I think any one of you has sent the question paper or the question where the question is on root mean square velocity, right? Kinetic theory basically. And kinetic theory is out of syllabus, but still teachers have given questions based on the kinetic theory. So there can be exceptions because teachers themselves are confused sometimes that what is excluded, what is not excluded. Somebody asked me what is RMS, or I don't really remember who asked me. Next question. Neither Q nor W is a state function, but Q plus W is a state function. Why? I hope everyone is clear about the previous answer, why it is, delta H. Delta H we have talked about because it depends on initial and final values only, nothing else. Okay. So now the next one. We know Q is not a state function, W is not, but Q plus W is. Okay. Okay, Shashwat, correct. Rashi, correct. Karan, Aruhi, correct. Rita, correct. Ashi, correct. Devansh, your answer is correct, but you have to mention why. So that's why you have to say Q plus W equals to internal energy. Delta U is equal to Q plus W, and delta U is a state function. That's why Q plus W will be state function. Okay. You will say Q plus W is equal to delta U, which is a state function. That's why Q plus W is a state function. Individually, Q and W are not a state function. Yes, Tuhina. This is heat capacity, so skipping it. Right. Is there any enthalpy change in a cyclic process? What do you think? Yes, Devansh, correct. You need to tell me why also. The reason. Why do you think so? Shashwat, your answer is correct. The example is a specific one only. Devansh, correct. Karan, good answer. Okay, so we will say that enthalpy is a state function. So as enthalpy is a state function, it just depends on the initial and final value. But if it is a cyclic process, the initial and final values will be same. And its cyclic process, initial minus final will be zero. So there will not be any change in enthalpy in cyclic process. Yes, Shashwat, we can say that that's the word used, that it is conservative in nature. Yes. Okay. But what you are saying, mostly the teachers who are conversant with JEE NEET syllabus, or they have that much knowledge, they will be able to understand what you are saying. Okay. So easier way will be to say that it's a state function, initial and final values will be same, hence cyclic process will have no enthalpy change. Yes, Preeta, correct. Rashi, correct. Which out of the force and pressure is intensive property? Ashi, Devansh, Karan, correct. Mahak, Rashi. Yes, Ashi, good. That's the way to remember it. Okay. Pin. So pressure, you know that pressure is intensive property, and that is asked. Intensive properties are those which do not change with amount or size. Yeah. So force, if you consider the different sizes, will be different. Identify the kind of energy change usually associated with each of the following. Automobile engine. What kind of energy change usually taking place? Which energy is getting converted to which energy? Sorry. No, not electrical. Automobile uses petrol or diesel, which are chemicals. So you can say chemical energy to mechanical energy or chemical energy to kinetic energy. Okay, better is mechanical energy because there is movement of parts. Why it is better mechanical? Because it is moving parts. Chemical energy to mechanical energy. Now B, fluorescent lamp. Yes, Shashwat, Ashi. Fluorescent lamp heat uh, is negligible, okay? But fluorescent lamp will be mainly light. However, answer is correct, okay? Because some heat is generated. So heat can be written. Nahak, Arohi, Ashi, Rita, Devansh, Shwangi, correct, okay? So for fluorescent lamp, it is electrical energy to light energy, and some heat is also, so you can write heat. Radio, C part. Frequency, okay, but frequency in itself is not energy. Okay? What radio is doing? Radio is amplifying, converting something, some signal to other. Yes, Karan, Ashi, Rashi, correct. Okay, fine, but what is that wave? That is actually a signal. It is amplifying. Mm, so radio is basically what it converts. Only radio, okay? Only radio, nothing else. Okay, so radio receives some signals, and what it converts those electrical signals to sound energy. However, who have written wave energy, that is also correct in the sense of that waves do have energy in the form of h nu. E equals to h nu. D, friction. Okay, Ashi, Karan, Shashwat, Prita. Okay, correct. However, when you say mechanical, that's not wrong. Okay, Karan, Shashwat, Prita, because if you say mechanical to heat, that's fine. However, if we say uh, a bird is flying in the air, okay, so or maybe there is any friction that a ball is moving in the air. You hit a ball, it is moving in the air. It's not flying even. It's just moving. So if it is moving, uh, it can be kinetic energy, not mechanical energy. Yeah. So friction, yes, in most of the cases it is mechanical to heat. That's fine. But better answer can be kinetic energy to heat energy. Now photoelectric cell. Shashwat, good. Tuhina, good. Rashi, instead of optical energy, you need to say something else. Ashi, correct. Okay. There's a specific name for that. That's solar energy, not chemical, solar. Okay. Photoelectric cell converts solar energy to electrical energy, electrical signals. So as I said, not very hard and fast rule that in case of, for example, friction, not hard and fast rule whether you need to write kinetic or mechanical. You can write kinetic or mechanical. Both answers will be considered correct. Okay. So as here it is written light, I would suggest that you write solar energy to electrical energy. Next, what will happen to internal energy if work is done by the system? So what will you say? What will you say? Whether, don't say negative, positive. It can be positive. Even if work is done by the system, the internal energy can be positive. So suppose Q is 100 and work is done by the system. Won't it be positive? But certainly it will decrease. So the answer will be that the internal energy will decrease. If it is done by the system, this part will be negative. Next, why do we feel cold on touching ice? Very simple thermodynamics question. No, the answer is not based on entropy here. It is simply the phenomenon of heat. Hmm, okay, Preeta, yes, you need to explain that more. Yes, Ashi, correct. Arohi, yes, but you need to explain. Um, Shivangi, correct. No, Shashwat, it shows that you have very good knowledge about ice. However, the answer is not relevant here. Your statement is correct. Vanna, correct. Arshia, uh, yes, but you have to explain a bit more. Rashi, the same thing. Explanation needs to be there, right? The question is, why do we feel cold? Mm, okay, the answer is very simple. Okay, ice absorbs heat from our body. That's why at the beginning I said it is very simple thermodynamics question. That is, heat transfer takes place. Heat transfers from higher temperature to lower temperature. So if heat is transferred from our body, obviously that part will have less heat. We will feel cold. Yes, Tuhina, correct. So simple thermodynamics phenomenon that heat gets transferred from our hand to ice. That's why in that region, we feel cold. How many times is molar heat capacity? Then now this one is heat capacity, so I'm skipping it. However, this one is very easy. What is the relationship between work done reversibly and irreversibly for the isothermal expansion of an ideal gas from volume V1 to V2 at temperature T? Just roughly, you can give me the equation. Remember, first is reversibly, the second one is irreversibly. Whenever you have to use integration sign, you can just write intake. I will be able to understand that. Rashi, you have written the correct formula. The point here is what is asked. Read the question again. Okay, Ashish. If you don't write integration, then give me the formula. Okay, in terms of log, you can avoid integration. Just give me the formula in terms of log. Ashi, for irreversible, if it is for irreversible, it's not correct. First of all, okay, try to understand. It means you have not revised the formula, which I said, which is the first prerequisite to remember the formula. We are talking about reversibly, and we are talking about the value of W, not value of Q. So don't write anything about Q. Yes, Shashwat, yes, your formula is correct. Ashi, your formula is correct. Arshia, yes, uh, if you include the log, that will be 2.303, but uh, as it is the work done, you have to include minus sign. So don't forget to include negative sign. Work done will be negative formula. So these are the formulas. The first one, if it is reversible, then don't forget it will be integration. And when you solve that integration, you will have log. And moreover, very important, you must include negative sign. This is the common mistake usually done by students in examination. Irreversibly is very simple, minus Pex delta V. But because here you have been given V1 and V2, don't write delta V. The reason is you have been given V1 and V2, hence you will write minus P, V2 minus V1. Sorry. Keep the negative sign on the right hand side because you have been asked to find the work done. So work done will be negative of something. So by now, everyone should memorize the formulas in this chapter. Again, heat capacity, so I'm skipping it. Heat capacity, I'm skipping it. Why heat changes reported are usually enthalpy changes and not internal energy changes. This is something we discussed when we discussed enthalpy. This is just one liner answer, not more than that. The question is why delta H is preferred over delta U. This is simple, this question. Yes, correct. Ashik, correct answer. Shashwat, again, it shows that you have very good knowledge of thermodynamics, but this answer is not related to this one. Yes, others, tell me the answer. Okay, the answer is because delta H is, let me see other answers I am getting. Preetha, correct answer. That's opposite rather, Karan. Delta H is actually not at constant volume, rather at constant pressure. So delta H is at constant pressure. Delta U is at constant volume. But in real scenario, we do reactions, etc. in open environment where pressure remains constant, 1 atm. Okay? For example, any reaction in test tube, etc. So in general, pressure remains constant. So that's why reporting the heat changes in terms of enthalpy change is preferred over representing an internal energy change, because both are heat. If you say delta H, it is QP, means at constant pressure heat transfer. Delta U is QV, that is heat transfer at constant volume. But normally this is not the case. The case is we do reactions in constant pressure environment. So how you will write it? You will say because of the processes are carried out in open vessels, that is constant pressure. And heat change at constant pressure is change in enthalpy. Next question. Under what conditions is the heat of reaction equal to enthalpy change? Now, this is something that everyone should answer. Now, there is nothing you don't know about this particular question. Devansh, we are talking about enthalpy change. Enthalpy, not internal energy. Enthalpy change means delta H. Yes, okay. She correct. Under what conditions? Tell me the condition, just. Yes, Devansh, correct now. Preeta, yes, correct. That's why I was expecting answer from everyone, what you have mentioned, Preeta. Good. Arshia, correct. Shashwat, probably you have studied so much thermodynamics that you are applying one level ahead your concepts. Okay, just come down, apply simple concepts. Shivangi, correct. Rashi, correct. Okay. What we discussed in the previous question, here we discussed that we represent the heat changes as enthalpy change delta H because normally processes are carried at constant pressure. So this is the necessary condition. Under what conditions the heat of the reaction is equal to delta H, means under what condition Q is equal to H, under constant pressure condition. Not constant volume, because if it is constant volume, then it will be internal energy change. Okay, so remember, enthalpy is related to constant, enthalpy change is related to constant pressure. Internal energy change is related to constant volume. Next question. What is the enthalpy change when 1 gram of water is frozen at 0 degrees Celsius? Delta H of fusion is 6.02 kilojoule per mole. Now, what is asked? You have been asked for 1 gram. And I have already told you, whenever you have the enthalpies, they are per mole. So you have to convert from per mole. You know the value for 1 mole. You have to calculate for 1 gram. And 1 mole of water is equal to how many grams? 18 grams. But hang on, there is something more. Here the question is talking about what is the enthalpy change when 1 gram of water is frozen. Means it is from liquid to solid. But what you have been given is enthalpy of fusion, means solid to liquid. And that is the common mistake here. So you need to understand what is given, what is asked. So what is given is actually energy required to melt 1 mole, that is 18 grams of water, is given as 6.02 into 10 to the power 3 joule, because it is kilojoule per mole. So for 1 mole, this much energy is required. But we need opposite of that. We need to convert liquid to solid. So we will say hence energy required to freeze 1 mole, that is 18 gram of water, will be delta freeze H minus 6.02 into 10 to the power 3 joules. Opposite of that, hence negative. But we need for 1 gram only. So you will say hence energy required to freeze 1 gram, means minus 6.023 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 18. You will apply unitary method. And you will get the answer as minus 334.4 joule. Here you will write per gram, because you have calculated for 1 gram. Why negative sign is there? I hope you understand. Okay. If it is not clear, let me know. Yes, Preeta, correct. That was the expression required. Okay, Rashi. Fine. Here, what is given, what is required? That is the only thing. Okay. Given is delta H fusion, means I'll writing it in form of equation so that it is understand. Given is H2O solid to H2O liquid. Delta H is 6.02 into 10 power 3 joules per mole. But we require water is frozen, means opposite of that. We need for H2O required. H2O liquid to H2O solid means ice. It will be negative of that. It will be minus 6.02 into 10 to the power 3 joule per mole. Opposite reaction, negative enthalpy. It means that is to freeze 1 mole. 1 mole means 18 gram of water. Delta H will be equal to minus 6.02 into 10 power 3 joules. Hence, to freeze 1 gram of water, delta H will be minus 6.02 into 10 power 3 divided by 18 joules per gram because it is for 1 gram. When you solve it, you will get 334 minus 334 joule per gram. Clear now? Now show that the product of pressure and volume, that is PV, has the dimensions of energy. We know that W is given by minus P delta V. So obviously the units of pressure and volume when multiplied will give you the units of energy. How do you show that? For that, you will write the formula. Pressure is force upon area. So we will, in place of pressure, we will write force upon area. Then multiplied by volume, but volume is length cube. So volume is length cube and area is length square. Yes, Shashwat, correct, correct. That is actually ml square t inverse 2, correct. More about it you should have done in physics. It means it is force into length. Force into length is work. It means it is energy. Clear? So that is how you will show that the product of pressure and volume actually leads to energy. Yes, Ashi, correct. Next, the question is, there are two reactions shown. Both are similar except that in first case, we have H2O as liquid product and in second case, we have H2O as gaseous product. The question is, will the heat released be same or different in the following two reactions? If yes, then why? If no, then why? And which one it will be more? So you need to tell the answer with the reason. Okay? Although reason is not asked here, you need to write the reason. Okay. In which one it will be more or less, you need to mention. Remember, the question is about heat released. Preeta, correct. Rashi, think again. Shivangi, why? Okay, Ashi, correct. Shivangi, think again. No, Devansh. See the reactants also. And if the product is more stable, it means less entropy. It means it has released the energy. Shashwat, this is just related to the energy released during the reaction. So it is not about the internal energy change. Okay. So that formula, what you are using, delta H equals to delta U plus delta NGRT. That is when you are given the internal energy. Okay. Even when you that apply that one, you can get the correct answer, but this explanation is not correct. Okay. However, this was, I think, this was very simple question, and I was expecting answers from many students. The heat released in above two reactions will be different. It will be greater in reaction one, and the as I gave you the hint also, the entropy is low here because it is liquid. We talked about the entropy. So if it is low, it means rest of the energy has been released. That's why the product has low energy, low entropy. Moreover, even if you don't talk about the entropy, it is like this: gas to gas. I am considering the second one. But suppose you have liquid here, you convert it to liquid. When gas will convert to liquid, it will lose energy. When you want to convert liquid to gaseous form, you will heat it. You will provide energy. So it means if it is liquid, so from conversion from gaseous to liquid state, it has lost more energy when it got converted to liquid. So in first case, the loss of energy will be higher. Okay. The loss of energy will be higher in case of first one. Now consider on the basis of what Shashwat was trying to. Okay. You can explain on that basis also, but you need to use that formula correctly. Suppose you say delta H is equal to delta U plus delta NGRT. You need to consider delta U constant because your same, not constant, okay, because your reactants are same. H2 gas plus half O2 gas. So in both cases, delta U will be same, constant. The second part will be different. So in first case, delta H, rather I'm writing here only. In first case, delta H will be delta U plus delta Ng. Delta Ng here will be product. You have 0 gaseous moles. Minus reactant, you have 1.5 gaseous moles. Okay, or 3 by 2 you can say, whatever you 0 minus 3 by 2 means you have minus 3 by 2 delta Ng. I hope you understand. It is product minus reactant. The gaseous moles of products, which is 0 here, minus gaseous moles of reactants, which is 3 by 2. So in this case, it will be minus 3 by 2 RT, means minus 3 by 2 RT in first case. In second case, delta H will be delta U plus delta Ng RT. In second case, delta Ng will be the product has 1 gaseous mole, the reactant same 3 by 2. So delta Ng equals to product minus reactants, that is just minus 1 by 2. So you will write here minus 1 by 2. Which one lost more energy? This one lost minus 3 by 2 RT. First one. The second one lost only minus 1 by 2 RT. Which one lost more? First one. Is that clear? If you want to explain by this method. Okay. Otherwise, you can anyway, in this particular case, you can say because the gas is getting converted to liquid, it will lose the latent heat. Next question. Diamond is an elementary substance, yet its standard heat of formation is not taken as 0. Why? Diamond is a type of carbon. Okay, it's an allotrope of carbon. It's in elemental form, but still its standard enthalpy is not considered as 0. Standard heat of formation. If you remember, we have talked about, for example, iron solid, the standard enthalpy of formation 0. Oxygen standard enthalpy in elemental free state 0. But why not of diamond? And you know it, I have already told you. Devansh has given me correct answer. And the reason is it's not diamond, rather the graphite, which is the standard form of carbon. Mehak, Ashi, Vanna, Ashi, correct. Okay. So in case of carbon, graphite is the most common standard form. So remember, carbon's standard form is graphite, not diamond. What is the basis of Hess law of heat summation? Basically, this is a common sense question that when we go from A to B, whatever we are doing, whatever path we are following, Hess law says that heat transfer will be same. So what is the basis? The basis is that the initial and final, it depends on initial and final state only. Okay, means the change in enthalpy is a state function. So it does not depend whether you follow first path, second path, third path. If we are talking about initial and final values of heat, delta H will be same because it's a state function. That's the basis of Hess law. That's why it does not depend on the path. Whatever path you follow, one step, two-step process, three-step process, the overall change in enthalpy will be same because the change in enthalpy is state function. It depends on initial and final values only. You will write it, you will say enthalpy is a state function and it is independent of the path followed. Next question. Which of the following state of bromine will have standard heat of formation equals to 0? Liquid bromine, solid bromine, gaseous bromine molecules. Which out of these will have standard heat of formation 0? Pritha, correct. It is actually, if you know, that's fine. If you don't know, obviously the answer will be wrong. Okay, Ashi, correct. Okay. Now, the standard form of bromine is liquid. When we talk about the halogens, fluorine and chlorine are gases, bromine is liquid, iodine is solid. So it means liquid bromine will have standard enthalpy of formation as 0 because that is the normal form in which bromine exists. A system is changed from an initial state by a manner so that delta H is equal to Q. If the change from the initial state to the final state were made by a different path, would delta H and Q be the same as that for the first path? Why? Devansh correct, Preeta correct, Karan correct. But one thing is, I think you need to consider the sign. Okay, delta H is same because it's a state function. Q will most probably be different. Now, why it is written most probably be different for different systems? Because it is not a state function. Because it is not a state function. Q is a path function. So for one system, it can be same, delta H is Q, but for other one, delta H may be Q dash. So delta H will remain same, but Q will not remain same. May be same, okay, that is exception. Okay. But normally it will not be same. If path is different, it will be different. Next question. Those who were not able to understand the Hess law, application of Hess law when we manipulate the reactions, these are the simple questions. Okay. So if you understand these simple ones, you will be able to understand those ones also. You have been given enthalpy for the two reactions, and you have been asked to find the enthalpy for the third one. So obviously you have to get this reaction using given reactions 1 and 2. So what you do, how do you manipulate reaction 1 and reaction 2 to get reaction 3? So you need to check what you have on the left hand side. You need O minus on the left hand side, but you have O minus on the right hand side in first. It means minus 1. The first equation you have to do minus. It means now you got the oxygen minus on the left hand side. You need O2 minus on right hand side, and you have O2 minus on right hand side in the second one. That is plus 2. So delta H of the required reaction will be minus delta H1 plus delta H2. This minus delta H1 and plus delta H2. Second reaction as it is, first reaction you flipped. Means minus of minus 142 plus 712. 854 kilojoules per mole. Don't forget to write the units. Preeta, I think just, yes, correct. Karan, Devansh, Ashi, correct. So if you are facing problems in 3 and 4 reactions, how do you manipulate? First, try to manipulate 2 reactions. These questions, if you are comfortable with, you will be able to understand complex questions as well. How? Just I am erasing everything, because if I said that equation 1 you have minus, that is you flip, and plus equation 2. If I write it, suppose I flip the first one, then it will be O minus gas will give me O gas plus electron, oxygen gaseous atom, because I have flipped. Left hand side is right hand side is left hand side. But because I have flipped it, delta H will now be opposite, that is plus 142 kilojoules per mole. Second one I have to use as it is. O oxygen atom gaseous plus 2 electrons, they give me O2 minus gaseous, and delta H is equal to plus 712 kilojoules per mole. If I add these two, O gaseous on left hand side and O gaseous on the right hand side, they get cancelled. I have O oxygen gaseous minus only. Then 2 electrons on left hand side, 1 electron on the right hand side. It means effectively it will be 1 electron on left hand side, will give you O2 minus gaseous. So I'll get the required reaction. Now, because we have already flipped the first one, in this case, we just need to add, because we just add these two reactions and we got the result. So because we got the reaction by adding these two reactions, we just need to add these two. And when you add, you get the answer. plus 854 kilojoules per mole. Next question, can enthalpy of combustion be positive? You have to tell me the reason also, why yes or why no. No answers. Enthalpy of combustion means combustion is taking place. CH4 plus O2 gives you CO2 plus H2O. Combustion, whenever there is any combustion, okay, combustion reaction, okay, okay, Rashi, combustion reactions always release heat. That is, delta H is always negative. They are always exothermic. Yes, Vanna. So you will say they are always exothermic. We will use the chemical term. Your answer is correct. Okay. Yes, Ashi, Vanna, Rashi, correct. So because they are always exothermic, they release heat. The delta H will always be negative. So the answer is no, because they are exothermic reactions and energy will always be released. So if the energy is released from the system, it is negative, not positive. Next question. The heat of formation of ferric oxide is minus 824 kilojoules. What will be the delta H for the reaction 2Fe2O3 gives you 4Fe plus 3O2? Very easy one. Give me the answer. Karan, good answer. Rita, probably you have written 4 two times. That is typo, but your answer is correct. Shashwat, no. There is something more. What is given? What is required? Given is heat of formation means 2Fe plus 3 by 2 O2 gives you Fe2O3. Formation means 1 mole has to be formed every time. Okay, if it is one formation, it will be for 1 mole. Yes, Shivangi, correct answer. Here in this case, delta H is minus 824 kilojoules. So obviously, it is not written per mole, but because it is heat of formation, it has to be per mole. What you need? You need opposite of it. Fe2O3 is in the left hand side. So flip it. Fe2O3 gives 2Fe solid plus 3 by 2 O2. In this case, delta H will become plus 824 kilojoule. But this is for 1 mole. Again, what we need for we need for twice of Fe2O3, C4 Fe solid plus 3O2 gas. So because now we need for 2 moles, we need to multiply the equation by 2. Here delta H will also be 2 into 824. That is 1648 kilojoules. That will be the answer. Plus, not minus. Arohi and Devansh, is that clear why the sign is plus? Your values were correct. Good. Next question. The enthalpy of formation of gaseous iodine is 62.5 kilojoule per mole. What is the enthalpy of sublimation of iodine at 25 degrees Celsius? Enthalpy of formation of gaseous iodine is this much. Okay, Karan is on the right track. So what is given actually is the enthalpy of formation of gaseous iodine. Now remember, I have already told you that the normal form of iodine is solid. Yes, Ashi, 1 mark, correct. So normal form is solid, and the enthalpy of formation is always from normal elemental form. So whatever is formed, that is formed from standard form, and standard form is solid. So the first statement is actually the enthalpy of this reaction. And next is asked, what is the enthalpy of sublimation? Sublimation is same thing, conversion of solid to gaseous form. So it will remain same. Clear? Now this is the question for your homework. Note it down and send me the screenshot just after the class, not on the group, individually to me. Everyone has to send me the answer, okay? And that's it for today. Keep revising. Take care. Good night and bye-bye.